The Articles of Confederation, written in 1777 and ratified in 1781, were the first Constitution of the United States. They were created during the American Revolution to establish a governing framework for the newly independent states. The Articles aimed to balance the need for national coordination during the war with the fear of centralized authority, resulting in a weak central government with limited powers. The ratification process of the Articles of Confederation required unanimous approval from all 13 states. Drafted in 1777, the Articles were first ratified by Virginia in December 1777. By February 1779, 12 states had ratified, but Maryland delayed until 1781 due to concerns over Western land claims. Maryland's eventual ratification on February 1781, after resolving these issues, allowed the Articles to take effect on March 1, 1781, establishing the United States' first governing document. The Articles of Confederation emphasized the preservation of state sovereignty and independence. They established a weak central government, often referred to as a League of Friendship, which had limited powers. The national government could handle diplomacy, war, and postal services but lacked the authority to tax, regulate commerce, or enforce its requests for money or troops. Each state retained its freedom and independence, with Congress consisting of a single house where each state had one vote. The Articles also required unanimous consent for any amendments, making changes difficult. The Articles of Confederation had several significant drawbacks. It established a weak central government that lacked the power to tax, regulate commerce, or enforce laws, making it ineffective in addressing economic and trade issues. Amendments required unanimous consent from all 13 states, making it nearly impossible to make necessary changes. Additionally, there was no separate executive branch to enforce laws or oversee government operations. The emphasis on state sovereignty led to conflicts and a lack of cooperation among states, while financial problems persisted due to the inability to pay off war debts or establish a stable currency system. These issues ultimately led to the drafting of the U.S. Constitution in 1787 to create a stronger federal government after Shay's rebellion. The United States was struggling with economic instability and political weakness under the Articles of Confederation. The federal government had limited powers and could not impose taxes, relying on states to fund its operations. Post-Revolutionary War, many farmers in western Massachusetts faced high taxes, debts, and harsh collection practices. These farmers, often Revolutionary War veterans, received little compensation for their service and struggled to pay off debts. The economic hardships and lack of government support led to growing discontent, setting the stage for the rebellion. Shay's rebellion was an armed uprising in western Massachusetts from August 1786 to February 1787. It was led by Revolutionary War veteran Daniel Shays and other farmers who were facing economic hardships, high taxes, and harsh debt collection practices. The rebels, many of whom were war veterans, were frustrated with the state government's failure to address their grievances and its aggressive tax and debt collection policies. They forcibly closed courts to prevent judges from seizing their land and marched on the federal arsenal at Springfield in an unsuccessful attempt to seize weapons. The rebellion was eventually crushed by the Massachusetts state militia, but it highlighted the weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation and contributed to the call for a stronger national government, leading to the Constitutional Convention of 1787. The aftermath of Shay's rebellion had significant political and social impacts. The rebellion exposed the weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation, particularly the inability of the federal government to maintain order and respond effectively to internal conflicts. This realization led to calls for a stronger national government, ultimately resulting in the Constitutional Convention of 1787 and the drafting of the U.S. Constitution. Additionally, the rebellion influenced prominent figures like George Washington to re-enter public service, leading to his eventual presidency. The event also highlighted the economic struggles of post-Revolutionary War farmers and the need for reforms to address their grievances.